everybody, I'm Jacki Jing and I'm with Joshua Yehl, and Entertainment Weekly dropping new photos and major plot points about Captain Marvel. There is a lot to talk about, but let's start off with the cover. It is showing Brie Larson in costume. I am absolutely loving it. But what are your thoughts?
Yes, this is our first official look at Brie Larson in costume. I absolutely love it. It looks like it's lifted right out of the comic book. Obviously, they gave it that MCU aesthetic, right? Make it look more like armory in places. They got rid of some design elements. One being the sash, which would like fly behind her artfully as she would fly through the air, kind of like a cool visual flair, kind of like Superman's cape. I see why you would not want a sash in reality, because that's a perfect thing for a villain to grab onto and like swing you around. And
not good for combat.
It's a hazard, yes. And then also she also has this helmet that comes up and gives her this really big like faux hawk coming out on top of her head. No helmet. Obviously, they love to give the stars lots of face time, and Thor is, of course, in the comic known for having that helmet. He wears it once at all. So I'm wondering if we'll still see the helmet. I really do want to see it. Maybe it'll come out like that Lost in Space, that Joey Tribbiani helmet that comes up over her head. But that would be really cool. But overall, I am super, super into it, and I love that she's powering up her hands. And people wondering like, what does it mean that she's the most powerful? Imagine like Superman mixed with like Goku. She's like already flying around with super strength, then she can charge up, and she's doing those energy blasts from her hands on the cover, so it's so cool.
That's a very good comparison, by the way. I love that. My first thoughts were I was a little bit bummed about the sash, just because that's just been such a classic part of her costume, but again, as you said, not really the best thing for combat, and to have that like just flying behind you, I'm sure that's like super annoying, but I kind of missed it. But they are paying homage to her classic look with the long flowy locks. I was like, okay, cool. You know, we saw her in the black and green costume. We now know that's the Star Force uniform from the article.
Yes, so the article has tons of details in there and says that she's part of an elite Kree like Black Ops squad called Star Force, and they all wear that black and green uniform. We're all wondering, we had all guessed that maybe it was to be something like that, something to do with her being part of the Kree military, because we know this movie will feature the story of the Kree-Skrull War. We know the Skrulls are the villains. We also saw them in the photos. But yeah, so it's good to finally have all the dots connected, and we understand that that's her when she's with the Kree, and that's just a different uniform. And then I'm assuming for some story reason she'll shed that uniform and put on the blue, gold, and red that we know from the comics.
Yeah, which looks awesome. We also saw Jude Law. Lots of speculation about him potentially being Marvel, so I don't know.
That's what's so weird is we figured he was Captain Marvel, like the original person who had that name, but in the article they refer to him as a mysterious mentor, and that I think that calls into question if he actually is going to be Marvel. Yeah,
I'm excited to see, like he said that it's going to be kind of like a mentor, really excited about her powers, so I don't know. We're just going to have to see what happens there. The other thing that I was really excited about when we were reading the article is that this isn't going to be your classic origin story. I feel like when we see these characters introduced, it's typically like, okay, like they're figuring out their powers, this is how this all happened, but we now know she's going to have her superpowers in this movie. Like that's basically like going to happen.
She starts the movie with her powers. They say it's not your typical origin movie. They said they actually pretty much were like, it's not an origin movie. She starts with her powers. She's already fully Captain Marvel. Maybe they'll refer to how she got her powers in passing, so the audience is educated. Or maybe a couple flashbacks here and there, because the way they said the story goes is that she's an Air Force pilot on Earth, and then she goes into space and joins like the Kree, Star Force squad, and then she comes back to Earth for some reason. So that's actually very different from the comics, and her origin in the comics is super, super complicated and really weird. It's had lots of revisions and changes over the years. So I think it's actually really smart. I'm really, really excited about the fact that they're not really going to deal with the origin as a main point of the movie, and she's just going to be a really cool story with her as Captain Marvel.
Okay, well, lots of new developments. Tell us what you think about the photos and the changes in the comments section. And don't forget to check out our breakdown of Captain Marvel, everything you need to know about her. We also have an interview with the writer of the new comic book, some changes in her origin story. And as always, be sure to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch. See ya!